Hi, my name is Ishmael and today we're going to be talking about the changes that are coming to the property industry and are you going to stay compliant? So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about the property redress scheme and that every single landlord will have to be registered for the property redress scheme. So are you registered? Make sure you're registered for a property redress scheme. You are also going to have to be taking on no deposit tenants. Now, what does this actually look like? So, first off, the property redress scheme. Well, the white paper that the government is bringing out in autumn this year, which is related to the recent Queen's speech, is supposed to be outlining the breakdown of, first off, the end to Section 21 eviction, non-fault evictions for landlords. So you cannot evict tenants under Section 21. This is going to be very likely to be brought in. There's been talks about it for a long time, but it's almost 100% certain now that it's going to be brought in. The time when it's actually implemented is not 100% clear, but it will be brought in. The second thing is that all landlords are going to have to be registered for a redress scheme. This is not like most people think in the property industry, where you only have to be if you're an agent. Even if you're self-managing, if you're an agent, if you're just a landlord, it doesn't matter, but you're going to have to be registered for a redress scheme. This is because there's been a lot of disputes between tenants and landlords, and it's getting too much for them to be dealt with how they are. So you're going to have to be registered for a redress scheme, so there's an intermediary body between the landlord and the tenant, so that you make sure that there's a way of resolving issues rather than having to go to court or going for outside information from elsewhere. So this is something that is going to be brought in. Every single landlord will need to be registered for the redress scheme. Again, it's a cost to the landlord. Where's that going to be taken up? The chances are the landlord rent will go up, rather the tenant's rent will go up, and therefore you are going to be charging the tenants more per month so that you can cover all these extra costs in the industry. The other thing that they're going to be bringing in is no deposits for tenants. So people are already accepting no deposits, or lifetime deposits they're talking about bringing in. Now, what is that exactly? Well, it's going to be where a tenant puts in a deposit into a deposit pot, and that is going to be a lifetime deposit, and they don't have to keep taking it out and putting it back in and changing it from landlord to landlord and agent to agent. Now, it could just be transferred, but the issue with that, which they are currently trying to find a way of resolving, is that if there is a dispute between a landlord and a tenant, then the tenant no longer doesn't actually have a deposit for the new property. And if the tenant doesn't have a deposit for the new property, then one of the landlords isn't covered. So this is an issue which they're trying to look at how they're going to get that. So obviously the chances are there'll be insurance backing on various things, but it's very difficult with the current systems in place to actually implement this system where you can have a lifetime deposit. You can have no deposits where you pay an insurance company and they cover it, and that will obviously be like any other insurance, car insurance, home insurance, where the tenant pays an insurance policy and the insurance will pay out if there is an issue with the property. This is a good thing for some people, a bad thing for others, because overall it can be cheaper when you're paying a monthly fee, but quite often it's more expensive because they have to account for running costs and for all the losses. So it swings in roundabouts. It all really depends on what your deposit is. I know that some people in London who have had super high deposits because it's 5 weeks rent, they have decided that paying £40–50 a month is cheaper and better for them than finding that extra couple of £1,000s to start renting a property. So these are the things that are coming into play soon. The time that they're talking about is early 2023. So around about 18 months from now, they're talking about having all these things implemented. So make sure you like this channel, subscribe to this channel, and whack that bell notification icon so you get notified when these implementations come in, so you don't get stung. Make sure you're always up to date, always compliant, and always keeping track of these amazing videos.